Good morning, and thank you for taking a moment out of your day to watch. My name is Michael Schaefer, and this is the power of the handwritten note. I've had great examples of positive people in my life. First and foremost, my parents, my mother and my father. They were great examples of positivity and of phenomenal work ethic in my life. Growing up, the positivity that they poured into me day in, day out, in spite of whatever happened at school, whatever happened in sports, whatever happened in my day, I had a solid foundation of my parents. They also demonstrated a phenomenal work ethic of getting up, going to work, doing their jobs every day. My father was a school teacher. My mother was a social worker. I was the youngest of three children, and they did a great job in raising all of us. My grandfather, my Grandpa Fry, my mother's dad, was another great example of positivity in my life. He was a great example of grace and of love, and he would always point out positive attributes. In hindsight, looking back, he would point out those positive attributes in my life. My wife, Kirsten, I've been blessed to be married for almost 15 years, and besides the love and commitment that she's helped me to grow in, the positive influence she's been in so many ways. I had the ability, or the opportunity, is a better way to put it, to play for Coach Gary Pinkel in college. Played football at the University of Toledo, was blessed for that opportunity, but I really give a lot of the credit to Coach Pinkel. Coach Pinkel taught us so much and instilled so many great things, but some of the things I remember that he instilled upon us was our attention to detail, no detail being too small. He reinforced so many of the things my parents set a foundation for, but to have that other role model, that other adult figure in your life come in and reinforce those things really solidified a lot of the positive notes my parents planted into my mind. So why the power of the handwritten note? In college, my Grandpa Fry would write me a handwritten note, handwritten letter almost every week. And, I'd go to class, go to practice, work hard, do the best I could. But, early in your college career, especially athletically, it can be trying. It can be a grind. It can be difficult. And sometimes these notes were no more than 3 or 4 sentences. Many times these notes were no more than 3 or 4 sentences. They always expressed how much he loved me, how proud he was of me, that he was following along, and that he knew God had such a big plan for me in my life. And he knew that I was going to make an impact for our Lord in this life. So I thought about how those notes would make me feel. And when I was early in my relationship with my wife, when we were dating, I started writing her notes periodically, not as consistent as my grandfather would write with me, but periodically I would write my wife notes. And as our dating relationship grew into a marriage relationship, I started doing it a little bit more, and almost always had great positive feedback from her on that. And our marriages grew and evolved, and into 3 kids. We're blessed with 3 beautiful children. So I started writing notes to our children. I drop them in the mail to them, so they get them in the mail, just like a handwritten letter that I'd get from my grandfather back in college. And last week, my wife gave me a call. She said, Emma, our youngest daughter, she actually turned 6 today. She said, Emma got your note. She got your note in the mail today. I've written her just on a little note card. Emma, you're beautiful and I love you. I'll see you tonight. Love, Dad. And, my wife's telling me on the phone, she's like, Emma is walking around hugging this note next to her chest saying how she got her letter from Dad. And it makes a difference. So I went from writing those letters, those notes to my own children, to writing those little notes of encouragement to my athletes, to other coaches in our school district. I'm a high school teacher and coach, and just little notes of encouragement. Other notes to other coaches in other sports saying, how much of an impact I can tell they're making in kids' lives. Wins and losses don't always reflect the positive difference that high school coaches and even middle school coaches are making in people's lives. But to reinforce that, to recognize that in somebody can mean so much. The reason I can speak to this is because I know it still holds true. This winter, I received this handwritten note from Coach Gary Pinkel. And it simply says, Michael, I'm so proud of you, your wonderful family, and your success. You're doing well, Coach Pinkle. And I was so excited to receive this note. I called my wife and I got a note from Coach Pinkle. It didn't just make my day, it made my week. To tell somebody that you're proud of them, that you're happy for them, that little bit of encouragement, it goes a long way. And the power of the handwritten note can do that. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to share this message with you. God bless you.